Hi, my name is Aida Ford. I'm a civil rights trial lawyer in Washington, D.C., and today I want to talk to you about false arrest and excessive force, but within the context of a video clip of a recent arrest of a woman, 64-year-old woman. This happened earlier this year here in the District of Columbia. Her encounter with the police is pretty disturbing, but I want to talk to you about those two claims and how to distinguish the two claims and how to know if someone has a case for false arrest. So let's watch the clip first. So now that we've seen that clip, the officer pulls this 64-year-old woman out of her car and slams her on the ground and then proceeds to put her in handcuffs. These cases don't make the news often. And many of my cases don't necessarily, but they should. And there are things that need to be exposed about police actions and abuses of power. And so that's what my aim is whenever I make a post. And then just educating the public about civil rights and what they mean. There's a lot of misconception about what civil rights attorneys do and the value that we add to America because we are the guardians of justice and we are the guardians of the Constitution of the United States. So excessive force is a violation of the Fourth Amendment. And I believe in this video, we see two potential claims here. One for false arrest. False arrest is when an officer detains you under the color of law, meaning using his badge, telling you he's a police officer, and you are there in custody and you do not have the ability to move about. That's whether you're in handcuffs or not. You don't have to be in handcuffs to have a false arrest claim. Okay, you do not have to be in handcuffs to have a claim for false arrest, but you do have to be detained. You have to be in police custody to have a claim. Now, whether the officer has reasonable suspicion or probable cause is a factor. If you pull you over to have you in custody, the length of time is also a factor as to whether or not the arrest is false, and then whether or not you're charged. There are times when you are not charged and you'll have a false arrest claim, and there are times when you are charged and you will have a false arrest claim. You do not have to be charged to have a claim for a false arrest. Now, excessive force is completely different. If you are handcuffed, if the officer uses force to bring you into custody, then you could have a potential excessive force claim depending on the circumstances. So here, the officer pulls her over. She's allegedly not wearing a seatbelt. And what happened was there was a car blocking her path, so she couldn't go up the street to turn into her driveway. So the officer gets the car to move, recognizes allegedly that she's not wearing a seatbelt, and this is what leads him to following her to her home and then to pulling her out of the car and slamming her on the ground like, "I'm wearing your seatbelt." Now the question is whether or not that is a reasonable use of force. Is that a reasonable use of force? He then proceeds to put her in handcuffs. Is all of that reasonable? Is that a violation of the Fourth Amendment of the United States? Again, is whether or not it's a reasonable use of force. So we contacted the District of Columbia Office of Risk Management, which is a notice requirement if you're going to sue a municipality. Generally speaking, there is some notice requirement in that jurisdiction. That's a whole other video. But in us contacting them, they indicated that the officer's actions were justified and within departmental policy. So yeah, I would love to hear former law enforcement or retired law enforcement comment on this. Generally speaking, when we hire expert witnesses, they usually are former law enforcement, but to pull over a 64-year-old person, pull them out of the car in their driveway, to put in handcuffs in their driveway on their property is within departmental policy at the Metropolitan Police Department in Washington, D.C. That's interesting. So that really remains to be seen. You all for your support, your comments. Please like, share, and tag. And if you are interested in all things civil rights and cases that are trending, cases on my docket that exemplify different principles of civil rights, and you're interested in learning more, please follow me. Thank you.